Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 teen movies of the 1980s.
Great.
It already came true.
For this list, we're looking at the best films from the 80s that represented adolescence in a truly timeless manner. Because we'll be talking about some key plot points, a minor spoiler alert is in effect. Was your favorite teen movie from the decade featured on the list? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Adventures in Babysitting. Could things get more chaotic than babysitting 3 kids? Well, yes.
Excuse me! I couldn't help but notice that you two groups of people are about to start killing each other, and I was wondering if you could please just wait on that until we could get off the train.
When Chris's best friend gets stuck at a bus station, Chris loads the kids she's babysitting in the car to go pick her up. However, a blown tire sees things going from bad to worse as they end up on the run in Chicago. Throughout the film, we see Chris get vengeance on her scumbag boyfriend, while one of the kids, Brad, survives both a stabbing rejection and a real stabbing. Safe to say, it was a night to remember for these teens. Through navigating romance, Playboy magazines, and even Thor, it was a wild adventure we couldn't resist.
I'd just like to say thanks for giving me what was probably the greatest night of my life. So far.
Number 19, Some Kind of Wonderful. Keith and Watts have been best friends for a long time, but you know the drill. Neither of them has realized their feelings for the other yet.
Where would I be without you?
Well, seeing as I drive you to school every morning, you'd probably be at home asleep in bed.
Keith was instead crushing on Amanda, the beautiful, popular girl. It's only when the two start going out that Watts suddenly has to confront her crush on her best friend. Luckily, throughout the film, Keith realizes that his pursuit of Amanda is superficial, and that he has more depth than he initially let himself admit.
Lesson's over, you're cool.
You're blushing.
Yeah, right, the day I blush.
Meanwhile, Watts learns it's more important to be herself than to change to impress others. It's a fantastic friends to lovers plot, and one that demonstrates how being yourself attracts the right kind of people into your life.
I really wanted him.
They're yours. You knew you were gonna get
No,
these.
I didn't. I hoped.
No.
I didn't know.
Number 18, The Lost Boys. We love when a teen movie has a horror twist. So when the Emerson brothers moved to Santa Carla and found it was littered with vampires, we were hooked.
There's a number on the back. And pray that you never need to call us.
One of the brothers joins the charming and dangerous group of vampires, while the other takes on the role of vampire hunter. The dynamic makes for some pretty great tension as the two try to figure out where they belong in their new home.
I don't know, Mike. It's not like getting a D in school or something, you know?
We're gonna work this out. I'm gonna work this out. You trust me, okay, Sam?
Even though the film takes place in a dark, twisted, supernatural underworld, at the end of the day, Michael and Sam were both just trying to fit in. They do so by succumbing to peer pressure and navigating different social circles, which is kind of what being a teenager is all about.
Bravo! You're right, Margot.
Number 17, Stand By Me. When Vern overhears his brother talking about seeing a dead body, he recruits his friends to see it for themselves.
They'll know we didn't go to the drag races. We could hide it.
Nobody will care. Because everybody's gonna be so jazzed about what we found, it's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah. Well, my dad'll hide me anyway, but hell, it's worth the hiding.
Along the way, they discover more about each other and themselves than they ever imagined possible, all while trying to beat a group of older boys to the body. The most relatable part of this film isn't the moments of friendship, though they are very endearing too. It's when we learn that the once tight-knit group ultimately ended up growing apart.
We saw less and less of Teddy and Vern, until eventually they became just 2 more faces in the halls. It happens sometimes. Friends come in and out of your life like busboys in a restaurant.
When the adult Gordy writes about no one ever having friends later in life like the ones they have when they're 12, we're taken right back to that precious time in our own lives before we grew up.
Well, see you in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in junior high.
Number 16, Fame.
Baby, look at me and tell me what you see.
This film explores the price of fame, set against the background of a performing arts school full of teens who are exceptionally talented. We follow an ensemble cast of characters in various disciplines from the day of their audition to their last day of high school, with some achieving their goals and others falling flat.
And don't think talent's enough to get you through. You gotta have a strong technique, a good agent, and most of all, a thick skin. Because now you're part of an underprivileged minority and you're going to suffer.
Woven through their high school years are their personal woes and performative triumphs, all set to some seriously catchy tunes. The entire film is a good reminder for teens everywhere to shoot for the stars, while simultaneously highlighting the importance of staying grounded and realistic. Number 15, Can't Buy Me Love. This teen love story manages to tackle important issues that resonate with teenagers in a lighthearted, comedic way. The movie centers around Ronald, who wants to turn around his social standing.
I just think it would be more fun to party with those guys our senior year. Go to the games.
We'll go to all the games.
We sit in the visiting section, Kenneth. At our own school.
He proposes a deal to popular girl Cindy. He'll pay her for a fake relationship in order to achieve popularity. Cindy, who could use the money, agrees. But by the time they've agreed to stage a breakup, she's developed genuine feelings for him.
You ignored the Donald Miller dork for 17 years. Now you want to ride on the Ronnie Miller Express.
I don't want to ride the Ronnie Miller anything.
Looks like you're the only one.
Unfortunately, popularity has gone to Ronald's head, and it takes some time before he finds his way to his true self. A popular motif in teen flicks is when the characters realize they don't need to change themselves to be happy or well-liked. And this film absolutely nailed it without being preachy or stereotypical.
I was just hoping we could sort this out. You know, the real me and the real you. That's all.
Number 14, Footloose.
See, this is our time to dance. It is our way of celebrating life.
Who doesn't love dancing out their teen turmoil? Especially when it's forbidden. When Ren McCormick moves from Chicago to Beaumont, he's shocked to discover that dancing is illegal in the small town.
Jump back.
That's true. Has been for about 5 or 6 years.
Being the rebel that he is, he decides to do something about it, all while facing off with his foes and tractors and falling in love with the preacher's daughter. The music and atmosphere of this film captures 80s essence at its core, but the adolescent struggles we see the characters deal with are timeless. From dealing with parental issues and navigating grief, we see a lot of meaningful moments sprinkled in with the lighthearted ones, and that is what makes this film a classic. Number 13, Dirty Dancing. This 80s movie is set in the early 60s at the Catskills and features a dreamy Patrick Swayze paired up with the adorable Jennifer Grey. Needless to say, there is a lot to love about it.
Nobody puts Baby in a corner.
When Baby steps up to dance with Johnny, we get to watch her learn the art. As is expected, the two fall in love despite hailing from opposite sides of the tracks.
You are not scared of anything. I don't know.
Me, I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of what I saw. I'm scared of what I did, of who I am. And most of all, I'm scared of walking out of this room and never feeling the rest of my whole life the way I feel when I'm with you.
Dirty Dancing showed us what it looks like to grow from a teen into a young adult, how to fight for what's right, and to make sure we always stand our ground. It also provides the kind of sage wisdom that will always remain relevant no matter how much time has passed.
Oh, come on, ladies! God wouldn't have given you maracas if he didn't want you to shake them!
Number 12, The Outsiders. This film was based on a novel written by an actual teenager, so it should come as no surprise that it's an accurate depiction of teen life.
I can't take much more of this, baby boy.
The Outsiders tells the story of the lower-class greasers and their rivals, the upper-class Socs. The greaser story takes a dramatic turn for the worst when Johnny murders one of the Socs, and he and Ponyboy have to go on the run with the help of their friends.
It's all my fault for bringing a 13-year-old kid along. You know, you ought to go home, Ponyboy. You can't get in any trouble. I mean, you didn't go on and kill him.
No. I'm 14. I've been 14 for a month, and I've been this just as much as you are.
We see the boys deal with issues surrounding opposing social classes, while realizing that everyone isn't so different. Ponyboy represents the spirit of youth in the film and reminds us of the importance of seeing the world through a non-judgmental lens.
So dawn goes down today. Nothing gold can stay.
Number 11, Pretty in Pink. Molly Ringwald starred in several seminal 80s films, and this one is perhaps the most mature of the bunch.
Yeah, I'm not sad about it. I'm not hurt. I mean, I am hurt a little bit. But I know if I don't do it, I'll just feel a lot worse.
In another one of John Hughes' many hits, Ringwald plays Andy opposite John Cryer as Ducky and Andrew McCarthy as Blaine, the three of whom make up a love triangle when both boys fall for the film's protagonist.
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.
Just because I'm going out with Blaine doesn't mean I can't be friends with you. I mean, it doesn't change the way I feel about you.
Oh, that's very nice.
Andy deals with her best friend's feelings for her while she crushes on the rich boy Blaine and hides the fact that she comes from a very different world. She does all of this while dressing flawlessly, we might add. The film explored mature themes like family troubles and peer pressure, and these topics are all too familiar for countless teenage viewers.
Maybe it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't mean it isn't right? Doesn't mean you can't try.
Number 10, Risky Business. We begin with a familiar scenario. Joel's parents are out of town, so their hardworking son decides to play hard while they're away. He spends the night with Lana, a beautiful sex worker, but it costs him in more ways than one.
What if I said I'd be your girlfriend next couple of days?
When Joel fails to pay the procurer, he finds Lana and some other sex workers now living under his roof. Not to mention, his dad's Porsche gets totaled. What's Joel to do? Simple. He turns his house into a brothel. With his admission to Princeton on the line, Joel has to raise money, but not raise suspicion before his parents get home. Risky business indeed.
Is this couch open?
Lana, I'm in a meeting.
We need the room.
Yeah, I need a few minutes.
Number 9, Dead Poets Society.
Even though it may seem silly or wrong, you must try.
In this 1989 drama, Robin Williams plays John Keating, the new English teacher at an all-boys prep school. Keating quickly shows that he's not like the other profs. Through his unique way of teaching poetry, he encourages the boys to make the most of their talents.
The powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse.
Reviving his Dead Poets Society, they become inspired to follow their dreams, but it won't be easy. When the tragic loss of one of their own puts Keating's job in jeopardy, the boys are determined to save their mentor. Arguably the most moving film on this list, Dead Poets Society is a tribute to inspirational teachers and will motivate you to seize the day.
Seize the day.
Gather ye rosebuds while ye may.
Number 8, Heathers. This satire of high school cliques shows the dark side of popularity.
You a Heather?
No, I'm a Veronica.
Veronica is a member of the Heathers, but she's fed up with their manipulative ways. When leader Heather Chandler tries to ruin her reputation, Veronica and her boyfriend JD accidentally poison her and make it look like she took her own life. The couple leaves 2 more bodies in their wake, but that's not enough for JD, who becomes increasingly unhinged. Fearing that she might be next, Veronica comes to her senses and will do anything to protect herself and her classmates.
It's pretty deep, huh?
Which red button?
Number 7, A Nightmare on Elm Street. It has inspired a franchise and many parodies, but there's nothing like the original. In this slasher film, disfigured serial killer Freddy Krueger haunts the dreams of suburban teens. And if they die in their dreams, they die for real. Shocked to see her friends dying one by one, final girl Nancy learns the terrifying truth behind the murders. The teen's parents killed Freddy out of revenge, and now he's out for blood himself.
He can't get you now. He's dead, honey, because Mommy killed him.
As Freddy sets his sights on Nancy, she is bent on defeating him once and for all. This horror classic isn't just scary, it also blurs the lines between fantasy and reality.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Number 6, Say Anything.
I love you.
What?
I love you. How many more times do I have to say it?
It's the summer after graduation, Lloyd wants to be a kickboxer, and valedictorian Diane has a fellowship coming up. Although they come from two different worlds, the two surprise everyone when they start dating. Diane's overprotective dad, Jim, is not impressed and wishes his daughter would hit the books.
You're not a permanent part of her life. You're a distraction.
Putting her studies and Jim's wishes first, Diane abruptly dumps Lloyd. Jim turns out to be not so trustworthy, however. As he faces jail time, Diane finally decides her future for herself, and Lloyd will say and do anything to win her back. Holding that boombox sure was worth it.
All my instincts, they return. The grand facade, so soon will burn.
Number 5. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
Based on a book by Cameron Crowe, this teen comedy gives us an inside look at the lives of high school students. Sophomores Stacy and Mark get some love advice from their senior friends, but nothing will prepare them for what comes next. After lying to him about her age, Stacy loses her virginity to an older man, and later finds herself in a love triangle with Mark and his friend Mike. A sometimes funny and honest take on high school, this cult film is as real as ever even decades later.
Put the vibe out to 30 million chicks, something is gonna happen.
Number 4. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Bueller.
High school senior Ferris Bueller pretends he's sick so he can skip class. Along with pal Cameron and girlfriend Sloane, Ferris is out and about in Chicago, driving in Cameron's dad's Ferrari. What could possibly go wrong? For one, Ferris's sister and his principal will do whatever it takes to uncover the truth, even if it means breaking the law.
In a nutshell, I hate my brother.
And as his eventful day off draws to a close, Ferris has to race home and act like nothing happened. A hilarious movie for sure, but also one that reminds us that fun can sometimes come before all else.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Number 3. 16 Candles.
Jake, you're not gonna believe this, but I had this very bizarre dream and you were in it.
Molly Ringwald gave us major prom goals in Pretty in Pink, but we've got to say that we prefer this flick, where she plays Samantha Baker, whose Sweet 16 is anything but. Sam's family is so busy preparing for her sister's wedding that they completely forget about her birthday. It doesn't help that she's in a love triangle.
I swear to God, this has got to be a joke.
She's crushing hard on high school senior Jake Ryan, while geeky Ted is interested in her. A series of embarrassing events and a wild party at Jake's house bring the trio closer in ways they never imagined. For better or for worse, Sam's 16th birthday is one she will never forget.
Happy birthday, Samantha. Good wish.
Number 2. Back to the Future.
Come on, move. Damn it.
In 1985, Michael J. Fox gave us two great movies, Teen Wolf and this sci-fi classic. After a botched experiment with his scientist friend Doc Brown, 80s teen Marty McFly time travels to 1955. In the past, Marty has two tasks ahead of him. First, he has to make his parents fall in love or he'll never be born. Second, without plutonium to power the DeLorean, he has to find his way back to the future. But through the power of love and a show-stopping rendition of Johnny Be Good, Marty manages to save himself and the course of history. A fun ride from start to finish. You will want to watch it time and time again.
Great Scott!
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. The Karate Kid. Daniel LaRusso learns to navigate high school, romances, rivalry, and karate.
Show me wax on, wax off. That!
Porky's. This movie walked so American Pie could run.
Do you know Mike?
Weird Science. John Hughes struck gold again with this sci-fi coming-of-age tale.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The Last American Virgin. Another teen film centered around virginity through a complicated web of relationships.
And Victor, have you seen Karen?
Oh, yeah, I think I saw her go in the kitchen. Thanks, Vic. Sure.
Better Off Dead. John Cusack stars in this dark comedy about teen angst.
You would die to get the attention of
This woman? You know, Len, there are better ways of getting attention.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Breakfast Club.
Eat my shorts. What was that? Eat my shorts.
In this beloved 80s film, 5 teens from different social circles have to spend their Saturday in detention together. They butt heads at first, but find a common enemy in the overbearing assistant principal Vernon, who expects them to stay in the library and do as they're told. Not if they can help it.
What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
As the group opens up to each other, they realize they're not so different after all. Each teen has their cross to bear, and finds comfort in knowing they're not alone. Funny and touching all at once, The Breakfast Club teaches us to shatter stereotypes.
That each one of us is a brain, and an athlete,
And a basket case. A princess.
and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Don't.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.